All right.
Okay. I don't think the meeting ID is right.
Could you come again?
I don't think the meeting ID is correct. Oh
Okay,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can
Okay,
see
can.
you. I can.
Yep.
All
Okay,
right. Okay.
I'm here now. So
So
okay. Before we start, can you start up your Holden Manager and let me take a look at what you're doing?
okay.
Okay.
Why don't I give you control?
Yep. You can. How?
Yeah, I'm just trying that. I think you have control now.
Let me try. Yeah, I do. Okay. So let me take a look. What? How come? How come? Oh, this is today. I want. Okay. What dates do you think reflect your current playing style? From which date onwards?
I have been playing on this site. I've been playing on this for about 2 to 3 months now.
True.
Unibet. This is account Unibet account. I think I started in October.
October. Okay. So let's go on. Okay. Let's look at all your stats.
I think I've played about 120, 130,000 hands so far.
Yep. That's good.
Limits ranging from NL2 to NL20. I've recently moved up to NL20.
Okay. That's good. So how? Let me see how it's like. I'm going to filter by stakes and see the difference. So most of your hands were on NL5, NL2, or
Uh, I, uh, that should come here. Yeah, in League Buster Stakes. If
yeah.
you,
Let me see. Because I wanna take a look at the hands where you played most of it. Okay, so let's take a look at NL10 here since you played the most here.
yeah,
Okay, and we'll find out how you did. So I can see that. Uh, yeah. Okay. So do you mark any hands or should I just go for the bigger ones, the bigger pots?
let's go. I've been running below EV at NL. Hello?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so my EV adjusted was around 200 euros and I've lost about 40 euros at NL10.
Okay. Okay. That's whoa. That is about 25 stacks down. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at all your hands. I think it's gonna be a bit laggy.
Correct.
Mm, maybe I should do something different. I'm gonna filter just the NL10 hands.
Okay.
And we take a look at the NL10 hands. Look at the latest hands first. So take something like this session. Okay, this session. All hands. Okay, these are the biggest pots, so I'm gonna take a look at how you played them.
The stats,
The stats. This is can you explain the stats to me? Oh, it's okay, I can just mouse over, so it's fine.
no, but the stats won't be accurate because these are anonymous tables. So the stats are for all the positions. Anyone who played in that particular position, they keep getting added up.
Oh, because this is anonymous.
Yeah, exactly. So most of
Oh,
these hands will be on anonymous tables. So I won't really have stats to review
okay.
after sessions. Although while playing, I'll have stats on them.
Okay, okay. I understand. Can you hide their hands? As in, can you hide the opponent's hands?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that would help a lot. Okay, so let's see what you did. So you mean all your hands are on anonymous tables, including all the stakes up to NL20? Is that right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Can you explain why you called here, right? Did you call?
Yeah, I called.
You called. Okay. Can you explain why you made this call? As in, do you have any stats on this guy? No, no stats, is it?
Right now, I don't have any stats here. So
You don't have any stats, and you made the call.
no, no. Back then, I don't remember what stats I had. I must have had some stats. Right now, I can't really figure out why I would have called.
Okay, okay.
Usually with Queen Jack offsuited, I three bet, so I don't really, I can't really figure out why I called here. Usually with Queen Jack offsuited from button, I'm three betting, and with hands like Ace Jack, Ace Queen, if the opponent has a high fold to three bet, then I'll just flat. If he has a low fold to three bet, then I'll three bet for value and fold to four bet. But
Okay.
Queen Jack off, I usually don't just cold call, so I don't really remember why I did this.
Mm, okay, because I need hands where we have reliable stats because the stats really helps a lot in the decision making.
That's
So
true.
yeah,
I in September I played some hands on PokerStars, so maybe we could work on that.
yeah, yeah. Can you filter
Okay.
out the hands for me where we have
Yeah,
stats
I'll
that we
just
can
do
work on?
that.
Wow, that's a lot of hands.
Yeah, I think I've played over 500,000 hands on PokerStars,
Whoa.
but I wasn't playing very well, and I was playing very different. Like right now, I play a lot different than what I used to back then.
Okay.
So okay, this although I think uh, Sep- August end and September beginning was till
Can
on
you
PokerStars.
pick a month that is closer to December, a month that you played more, that is more reflective of your current playing style?
Okay, let's see. Okay, these are about 40,000 hands that I played after filter for after September.
Maybe the stakes are wrong. The stakes, because this stakes is just NL10. You might have played NL20 or something, 25.
I played NL25 almost a year ago.
Okay, but currently it's just NL10. Is that right?
Latest that I've played at
Okay, so this is this what I should be using?
okay, yeah, this is it. This is about. Let me just apply to all. Okay, this is about 41,000 hands at NL10.
Okay, can we will just use this then.
Okay.
Okay, because I need the stats to be right, because we are going to use a lot of the statistics to interpret what's happening. So I want to see the bigger pots, not just the ones you win, but also the ones you lost, both of them. And can you help me to adjust click on the net one until you get something with a lot of.
Okay. If I filter for overall, I'll get all the hands that I've played.
Okay, but that will be too laggy, right? That will be very very laggy, right?
Yeah. This is 41,000 hands played at NL10.
Okay, because I don't just want to look at your losing hands. I want to look at those you won as well. So I want the biggest pots. You just click on net one, you should be able to see the biggest pots, right? Just click it, and then it will. It's going to be very laggy. But these are just the won pots. How about the lost pots? I know you click one more time. Does it make it?
Yeah, I'm just filtering it. Okay, there we go. Lost pots.
But if you click one more time, you can win biggest pots, right?
Yeah, the biggest.
Okay, never mind. I think let's work with the lost pots first. Okay, so I'm going to open this ace queen head. I'm going to take a look at the biggest few pots. Okay, and I'm going to replay them. And we're going to go through these few hands and see your understanding. Okay, so these stats are all accurate, right? Because it's on PokerStars.
Yeah, these stats are accurate.
This is not Zoom, right? This is normal tables.
This hand is a normal table.
Okay, so let's see what you did there. So you raised. Okay, that's fine. And somebody 3-bet you.
Yes, his 3-bet percent is 25. He's playing 47-13 with 25% 3-bet.
Okay, so your decision was to call. Okay, just a question here. This is a NL 10, so your stack should be $10. Why are you having a $20 stack here?
I think I might have doubled up before this.
Yeah, so you should be leaving the table and playing with a 100 big blind stack, because deep stack you play a little differently.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to explain the difference, but I'll just tell you roughly how it is like. When you are deep stack, your hands, you can call more hands in positions. Okay, you can call more hands in position, and you need a stronger hand to go to the showdown.
Okay.
Yeah, so instead of just stacking off with top pair against a fish, you now need something like 2 pair or sets, because you're much deeper. Okay, so let's go on with the hand. You called him. What are you? Before we go on, what are you expecting him to 3-bet you with 25%?
Since it's not many hands, it's just 40 hands on him. I think he'll be 3-betting me with weaker aces, weaker broadways, suited connectors, pocket pairs, sometimes a lot of Broadway combinations, even something like ace 10. I won't be surprised if he's 3-betting, although the sample is very, very.
Okay, yes, you are correct. Okay, but there's a problem here because the sample is very small. You can see that he only 3-bet you once in the small blind. Okay, so maybe his 3-bet percentage is not 25%. Perhaps 25% is a little inaccurate. I'm not sure how much is it. Probably something between 10 to 15% could be a good estimate on his 3-bet on a small blind. Do you have Poker Stove? Can you open up Poker Stove for me?
Yeah, I have Equilab.
Yeah, it's the same. Just open up Equilab. So I will be using Equilab very often just to show you the hands that he has. So over here you told me he 3-bets 25%. So this is you drag this is 25%. Right? So this is a very wide range. But I don't think he's 3-betting you so wide. I think it will be something closer to just maybe somewhere like that. Or maybe even smaller. I'm not sure. But against this range, Ace Queen is doing very well. Okay, so I'm going to apply this range. So I don't think it's that wide, because you just have only you have 40 hands on him, and he 3-bet you once out of 2 times on a small blind. So I would think that his 3-bet range will be something like that, because we don't have enough stats. And your hand would be Ace Queen suited, and you look at the equity. Obviously, you are very good. Okay, so you can call. But why didn't you 4-bet? Can you explain why you didn't 4-bet? I can't hear you.
Hello.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. So I expect him to. He might have been aggressive before this.
Okay.
So I probably aggress him to, I expect him to even 5-bet shove, and I won't be comfortable stacking off with ace queen suited with 200 big blinds against him.
Okay,
So
okay.
I thought that it will be better to play him post flop.
Okay, let's say he 5-bet shoves, okay. What are you expecting him to 5-bet shove with?
Uh, Premium hand special. I think pocket jacks up maybe.
Okay,
Uh,
okay,
Ace king, ace queen.
okay.
Uh, I can't really say more because the sample is again very small.
Correct, correct.
So
Okay,
sample size could easily mislead me here.
okay,
But I
so
think if he's loose enough, then this much.
okay, so let me rephrase what you said. You're saying that when if you 4-bet, you're afraid that he 5-bet shoves his premium hands, which is not good for you. Okay, but how about the hands that he would have folded? There's quite a number of hands you could have folded, right?
Yeah, that's true. But looking at his PFR and VPIP and the gap between them
Mm-hmm.
in whatever hands I have, I think it's more likely that he won't easily fold. He'll either call or he'll 5-bet shove.
Okay.
So I'll be playing a much inflated pot against him with deep stacks. So maybe I was scared to make a few mistakes post flop. So I thought that I'll just call him, keep a weaker part of his range in, not isolate myself against the stronger part of his range that he might have, and then decide what I want to do post flop.
Okay, I think what you have said is very important, which is that you want to keep his weaker range in and not isolate yourself against the stronger range. And this weaker range that you are talking about, can you make an estimate of how much this weaker range is using this? How much of this? Okay, there's 17% here that I've just highlighted. Okay, how much
Mm-hmm.
of this 17% is the weaker range that you are trying to keep in? How many percent is weaker? Can you, or maybe you can just remove the stronger hands. Okay, yeah, just remove the hands that you think are as good or stronger than yours. Okay, that's about it, right?
Pocket pairs I'm going to be flipping anyway, so I'll remove queens, and against jacks I'll be again flipping.
Okay, okay.
So I think this part of his range I can dominate.
Okay, so how many percent is this?
13.57.
13.5. Okay, okay, 13.5%. So 13.5% out of 17% of hands. So 13.5 out of 17% is about 80% of his hands. So 80% of his hands here are weaker than yours, and 20% of his hands are better than yours. So by calling,
Yeah.
you keep 80% of his hands in, which is good, which is very good. Okay, so okay, let's
Okay.
go on. He bets out. Um, what do you think he
His
could be donking out here with?
uh, weaker flush draws, weaker flush draws than mine. Some jack X, weird jack X hand, straight draws, 10 queen type broadways that he could have, even 10-8 probably he can have there. Uh, Jack pairs, right from ace jack to even some lower combinations. Then of course strong hands like two pairs. I think he can have jack nine, although I don't expect him to have 6-9 in this situation. Maybe he 3-bet jack nine suited. I won't be surprised.
Okay,
And sets.
I think you're giving him too much credit, because if you take a look at his c-bet percentage, I mean, I know we don't have much stats, but he's c-betting quite often, right? I mean, you have 99% out of 2 times. I mean, yeah, it's not a lot of samples, but I'm going to assume that he's going to c-bet his entire range here, not just, 6-9 and what you have mentioned. What you have mentioned are the very strong hands, but how about
Mhm.
hands like king 10, which is basically what we highlighted here in his range, which I'm going to refer
Yeah.
to. So let me bring this to the right a bit. Yeah, so hands like ace 10, king 10, queen 10, of course ace jack, king jack, queen jack, jacks, of course all these are going to bet, but ace 10, king 10, queen 9, I think everything is still going to bet once. Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
so definitely we are not giving up here, but you chose to call. Why didn't you raise?
Because if he has so that I keep weaker bluffs in, because if I raise, he's going to fold his bluffs.
Okay,
I have a decent draw. I have overcards plus a flush draw plus a backdoor straight draw,
mm-hmm.
and if I raise, I'm just isolating against better hands because he'll fold everything else. He'll only continue with jack pair or better, or maybe sometimes weaker flush draws that I dominate. But his flush draws can also be like I don't know, he could even have some ace-6 suited. Sorry, he can't have ace-6 suited, but yeah,
Okay,
to
what?
basically not isolate myself again.
Okay, if you plug this range in, which is exactly what we thought he could have. I'm gonna put all these hands back in. Okay, and I'm gonna plug in ace, diamonds, queens, diamonds, and I'm gonna put a flop in. Jack, diamonds, six hearts, lord, diamonds. You notice that your equity it's good, 60 over
Yeah.
percent, and what you have here is a monster draw. You have you have nine outs for the nut flush draw, and you have the
Hmm.
queen out and you have the ace out. So with a monster draw, usually you can play aggressively. Why? I think you can make him fold quite a few hands. Like for example, if he has a nine here and you raise,
Yeah.
he could fold it. Or of course he could
Yeah.
call. But if he calls, what do you think his action on the turn is going to be? Let's say you raise
He's
here,
gonna be okay.
okay, and he has a
Uh,
nine.
he'll check,
Correct.
and depending on the turn, he might even fold to a second barrel.
Which is good for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how about a jack? If you raise here, he's gonna call, right?
Jack, he might even see a showdown with. If there's no overcard that comes, and if the board doesn't get too scary, then I think
Okay.
these fish like to play top pair. They have a hard time folding, so he might call down with the Jack.
Okay. So okay, that's right. So let's take a look. But there are quite a number of draws here. How about a hand like 10 queen? You raise a hand like 10 queen. What is it gonna do?
Uh, okay. He seems aggressive so far. 4.0 aggression factor.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I his aggression is also 43%, so he might get it in. He might
Okay.
three bet and get it in with the draw, or he might just call down and fold on the river when he doesn't hit.
Okay.
Or if he hits a pair along the way, he might still call and see a showdown.
Okay. But if he hits the pair, it's gonna be a queen, right? And you dominate that card, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
And
He
if he
might even
correct.
yeah, he might even hit a 10 pair, and maybe he might be adamant enough. I'll need to put in extra pressure to make him fold a 10 if he hits one.
Okay. So that is by him calling is good, right? Because you're ahead of his range.
Yeah.
How about a hand like 10 king? Same, right? Is it the same as 10 queen? Is he gonna
10 king will
yeah,
obviously be weaker because 10 queen still has more equity.
correct. But do you think he's going to play it any differently?
Uh, he might not three bet me with the 10 king here. He might just call down
Okay,
with
okay,
his gut shot and one overcard. But I don't expect him to go really crazy with the 10 king here,
okay. How about a hand
unless
like
unless it's king 10 suit.
okay? How about a hand like pocket eights? You see, we have some hands here, right? Pocket eights.
Pocket eights, I think he'll fold to a raise.
Okay.
Even if he calls, he'll definitely fold to a turn double barrel if he doesn't improve. But yeah, mostly I think he'll call because he just has a third pair, so shouldn't really be.
I
Sorry,
don't.
I mean mostly he'll fold. He'll
Yeah.
fold to my raise.
Okay, okay. So same for sevens and sevens, right? Same for
Yeah, same.
okay. Pocket tens.
Pocket tens, I think he'll call
You call.
because he has a middle pair. He
Okay.
has a backdoor draw,
Okay.
and if it's 10 of diamond, he might still call with
Now that is
yeah
very
with the
rare.
backdoor flushes.
That is very
Yeah,
rare because there's two outs. So okay, so you're saying that sevens, eights are going to fold, but seven and eights are they better hands than yours? Ace queen, is it better than you on this board?
uh, no, because I'll have 9 plus 336.
Actually, their
No, I
hand.
think I should be 52-54%
Okay,
equity. I
so
think I'll
so
be
it's
better than
good.
them.
It's good that he folds sevens and eights, right? That's good news, right? If we raise
Also,
and he
it's
folds.
not a problem.
Okay, good. So if he has a hand like what we mentioned, 10 queen, 10 king, he could call, which is also good for us, right? Hello, can you hear me? Yep, can you hear me?
Yeah. Internet.
Yep, okay. So
Yeah.
so a hand like 10 king, 10 queen, that's good for us if we raise and he calls because we're actually ahead of him with ace queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, how about a hand like king jack?
Against King Jack, I still have decent equity. I should still
Yeah,
have
correct.
52-54% equity against
And you
because
are
I still have 2 overs.
you are in position and you can bet if you hit your queen, you can bet if you hit your ace, you can bet if you hit your flush. Correct?
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you let's say a hand like king jack here, he bets,
Mm-hmm.
he dongs, and you raise. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think he's going to bet
Mm-hmm.
the turn?
No, he'll start playing passive then with the
Correct.
Jack
That's
there.
right.
He want,
Okay. But if you call here, do you think he's going to bet the turn?
yeah.
So this
He
is the
has
same,
top
right?
pair as far as he's
So it's the same, right?
yeah.
At the end
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
turn, you're gonna get the same result. But if you raise here, you have the option of betting a queen or an ace if you hit. And you also have the option of
Yeah.
checking it back if you miss. And the result is going to be the
Uh,
same.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How about a hand like let's say he has ace king or ace queen here?
Uh, Against Ace King,
What do you think he's gonna do when he bets and you raise him?
he might call once and give up on the turn.
Okay, okay, and that's good. How about okay now let's go to the premium hands. Aces, kings, queens, jacks, and of course sixes and nines. What do you think he's gonna do with his hands?
Hello.
Yep. What do you think he's gonna do with the
Yeah. Yeah.
premium hands in his range? Aces, kings, queens,
But
jacks, six,
he's he's
nines.
def he's definitely going to three bet and get it in on the flop. He'll go all
Yes,
in on the flop itself.
and that's not good for us, right? That's not good for us.
No.
Okay, so let's see how many of this. Okay, this is 17%, right? Let's see how
Yeah.
many of these premium hands he has. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all this, and I want to see how many premium hands he has that is going to three bet and get it in, which is not good for us. Something. Do you think he's gonna three bet and get in ace jack? Hello.
Hands I have. Yeah. Yeah. He might get it in with Ace Jack
Okay,
also.
maybe ace jack. Okay. King jack? No. Most
No, I think
no.
he'll fold King Jack.
Okay, so you can see that the hands that actually have us beat is about 4% of the range, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, 4% of the range. How about the total hands that uh, okay, so this is 4%. And how about the hands that would bet and we have advantage of playing over? So it's these are the hands that would fold, right? So okay, and these are the hands that would bet and fold. What other hands would he bet and fold? These hands? Ace 10, King 10. Of course, Queen 10 is not folding. Um, okay, these are the hands that I would think we are doing very well against. What you said, we have 50% equity, right? Something like that. These are basically the rest of the hands.
Yeah.
Basically the rest of the hands, other than the monsters. So that is about 15%, right? 14%. So we can see that we are only losing against 4% of his range, but we are doing pretty well against 14% of his range. So his total range is about 17 to 18%, which means that we are doing pretty well against 75% of his range, about that 70 to 80% of his range,
Yeah.
and 20% of the time we are dead. And that 20% of the time we are dead, we are not exactly dead, because we still have our flush, which
Yeah.
would complete half the time by the river. So that leaves us with about 35% equity against the very strong range that you have just mentioned, the 4%, which is your set of jacks, aces, kings, queens, sixes, and nines. Okay, other than
Yeah.
that, we are doing very, very, very well, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's good for us because we are in position. We can choose to bet if we hit the flush. We can choose to bet if we hit the ace or the queen, or we can check back because most of his hands that I've just selected here are going to play passively or they're going to fold on the flop.
Yeah.
Okay, which is good for us. Or he could keep betting, which is not good for us because we don't exactly, we can't always win at showdown. You see, this hand we have here only completes to on showdown 50% of the time. Okay, but if we
Yeah.
raise here, we win 75% of the time.
Yeah.
Okay, which is a better result than going to showdown because going to showdown we win 50%.
True.
Okay, so I will prefer a raise here, and we don't just win 75%, we also win more when we hit our flush, and we lose
Yeah.
less when we don't hit our flush.
Okay. True.
Okay, so I'm going to favor a raise here.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to raise here. What do you think is a good raise size?
I think should be okay 3 times.
3 times. Okay, let's. I'm going to ask you in another way. There are some hands here. Okay, let's say ace 10. Do you think ace 10 is going to fold to a raise?
Ace 10 would fold most of the time.
Would fold. Okay, but let's say I make a min raise to $4. Do you think ace 10 is going to fold?
No, then he might not fold. He might call.
Yeah, that's why. So that is a 4 is a bad sizing because the hand that you expected to fold is not folding. So 4 is a bad size. How much should I raise to ensure that an ace 10 is going to fold here?
I think fold.
How much?
$5 or $6 should make ace 10 fold.
Yeah, I think maybe $6 to $7 will be a good raise here. So your purpose here is to make sure that you achieve your purpose because what we intended to do with the raise was to fold out ace 10, sevens, and eights. We're not intending to fold out queen 10. We are intending to fold out something like ace 10 and ace 9. No, ace 9 is not going to fold. Ace 8, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to make that size about $6 to $7. Okay.
So, but why do we want to make ace 10 fold? Because we're doing better than ace 10 right now.
Because ace 10 can hit a 10, and what happens is, yeah, you're right. You don't exactly need ace 10 to fold, but what happens is, imagine you raise and he calls, and you decide not to bet the turn, and he bets into you on the river. Now that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
now you lost a pot that you could have won. So you don't mind him folding ace 10. But let's talk about a hand like pocket sevens and eights. Okay, if you make it $4, is that hand going to fold?
Might still fold because this board should. There's 9 pair, jack pair.
Okay. But I think it's less likely he's going to fold a hand like pocket eights if you do a min raise. Yeah, I think it's very much less likely that he's going to fold, although he has third pair. Yeah, so I think a hand like I think you have to raise until at least $6 to $7 for a hand like pocket eights and pocket sevens to fold.
But would he even bet $2 into 2.5 with pocket sevens and pocket eights?
That's a good question. Maybe not, but if you take a look at his c-bet percentage, is 100%. He could just be raising.
Yeah.
He could just be raising any two here and just c-betting any two. He's not thinking about his hand. He's just thinking, okay, I'm 3-betting and I'm going to c-bet, and I think I'm going to give up on the turn, something like that. So he's not thinking whether he has third pair or not, or second pair or 2 overs. He's not thinking that much. He's just thinking, I'm going to c-bet the flop, because that's what I learned from a training site.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay, so I think a raise is good here to $6 to $7. Okay, but you call, and the 2 comes, and he bets again. Okay, when he bets again here, I really don't know what he has, because he still can have draws like 7-8 sometimes, 10 queen, 10 king, and which is why you don't want to place yourself in such a spot, because if you raise, you could have just taken a pot down, but But now in a 3-bet pot and you're deep, of course we are not folding here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess you call, which is not good because you see now the only way for you to win is to hit your ace, your queen, or your flush, and that's gonna happen only maybe 25% of the time on the river, when you could have won 75% on the flop.
True.
Yeah. So and I don't like raising here either because he might think that he's pot committed and you will call a hand like a 9 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're putting him all in. He could. What is his way to showdown? You don't have much stats, but
And 29%
yeah.
in
So you
14
see,
hands.
I mean, if the when to showdown was accurate, he is calling a 9 here, and that's not good. So if you hand like 9,
Yeah.
10 and he decides to bet, yeah, and you put him all in, he's not going to fold here. But if you raise, he's going to check. Okay, so this is not good, and of course, it's not as good as raising on the flop. So you call, and I guess you hit your flush, did you?
No, I didn't.
No, and you check.
Okay, here I think maybe I should, yeah, here I must have done something stupid here. I should have obviously just get out and just taken the showdown with the ace high.
Yeah, you should have just taken the showdown with the ace high, but I would prefer if you have just raised the flop and just get it in, because even
Yeah, true.
against kings you're actually doing pretty well. You can just see. Of course, you don't just accumulate yourself against that range. You see, if you accumulate yourself against the entire range, you're doing pretty well on that flop.
Yeah.
Right? And if you just take a look at the hands that he goes all in with, which is going to be exactly, of course kings is going all in. Okay, you aren't doing that bad. You see some ace jacks,
Yeah, ace
sixes,
jacks.
nines. Not that bad. You're not doing that bad. You see, you have 40%. It's good.
Yeah.
It's okay. So I think you should have just raised the flop as usual. Okay, so now next hand.
I think you'll have to change from here.
Oh.
Not
Okay.
previous hand. Okay, this is
8, 9 suited. Okay, let's erase. False. Okay, and you hit your flush, and again you are deep. You see, you didn't cash out. Oh yeah, because I put all the bigger pots. Okay, you bet big. Can you explain why
what size?
you bet so big?
I'm thinking that if it's like how big that is, because any hand strong enough, he depends. He might overplay and overpair.
Okay, I didn't catch you.
Something.
Can you first tell me what do you think he's calling you with on the button? There's a range there that you can use, right? What hands do you think he's calling on the button?
Ace X hands, King X hands, and he could have Ace of Spade or a King of Spade that might call a big bet on the flop. Okay. So that's why I think I bet pot size here to on a monotone board. So usually, unless they already have a good hand, so they'll just go all in. So I think it's very straightforward. If they want to call, they don't really care about the odds. I think they just go ahead and call.
Okay. Okay. So let's see what you did. Make a bet. Okay, calls. And you bet again.
Yeah, and this time again I made a pot size and he calls.
Okay, and you bet again.
Go for pot again.
Okay, and what are you expecting him to call you with here?
On the river, I don't think I should. River, I should in fact just check.
No.
And probably. Hello?
Yeah, again?
Yeah, I'm thinking that on river I should in fact check and let him bluff.
Let him bluff. Does he bluff? Can you look at his aggression?
It's not very high. It's 1.8.
1.8?
The hand has gone. Given the way the hand has gone, invested quite a bit in this pot. He's called two pot size pairs
Okay.
and like a higher pocket pair, which he might even go for thin value plus, something like maybe something like jacks or tens with a spade.
Okay. Can I see his aggression? What is his aggression factor?
His aggression is 1.8. These are
One
the
one.
post-flop stats.
Okay, 1.8. Okay. I don't think a person with a 1.8 aggression, unless you have a read, I don't think he's going to bluff this river. He might even
Okay.
check back a hand like pocket eights, which is not good. So I'm going to bet. Yeah.
Okay, but if you see his flop turn in river, his river aggression seems extremely high,
Oh,
88%
okay,
compared to
okay.
27 and 18 on flop and turn.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. You got this right. But a more relevant stat to use here would be the one where he bets in position, which means that you check and he bets. So something like flop versus miss c bet. Flop versus miss c
I
bet.
Yeah, I don't think I have that in my heart
There
right
is.
now.
Can you mouse over the aggression factor? It should be there. Or c bet.
Uh,
Bet versus
no,
miss c bet.
flop versus C bet.
Versus miss c bet. No. Okay. I mean, yeah. You you,
Nothing
you
else.
could you could check here, but I don't think a bet is that bad. I don't think they're bluffing so often with ace of spades. I mean, yeah, he could bluff since you say that he's very aggressive on the river. But in
Mm-hmm.
most cases, I would prefer betting myself to get value from the pocket eights, pocket nines, pocket tens. Yeah. And what is his win to showdown?
18%.
18%. Yeah. So
This
he's
is
not.
the
He's never bluff catching you here. So he's gonna call you with a good hand. I think check call is fine, but I prefer betting myself against. You see, when he called you with two streets there, he could have a flush draw, which you could get value from by check calling, which is to bluff catch, which is a good plan, or you could bet to get value from his eights, nines, tens, which is not a very big part of his range. I think there are more flush draws in his range. So I think a check call plan could be better here. Yeah.
okay. But even if I do bet, I don't think I should be going for pot size because that's a
No, you take a look. Let's say
pot
let's say it has a hand like pocket eights here. How much do you think he's calling?
half or less than half, but
I think he's
not a
calling
very
a
big.
pot size here. I think pocket eights is calling a pot size bet here. Maybe okay. You might argue that his win to showdown is very low, but usually an overpair is never folding. So I like your bet. I think 6-10 is fine because I think a hand like pocket eights is going to call a pot size bet here, which is exactly what you're trying to get value from, right? A hand like
Yeah.
7, 8, if he called that, which I don't think is in his range. Yeah, I think most of his range is going to be like pocket eights, pocket nines, pocket tens. They're going to call a pot size bet here. So I like your bet. And you said that he was aggressive, right?
He was aggressive on the river.
Yeah. I think he could even raise you with his hands like jacks, kings. If he has a hand like pocket jacks, pocket nines, pocket eights, he's raising here, right? He said he's aggressive, so I think that's what he's gonna do.
To raise pocket jacks, pocket nines or something. He would have done it before. Why did he wait till river to do it? He could have done it on the flop
But
or the
he's
turn.
he's not aggressive, is
And
he? Let me see.
I still are exposed to broadways. I could have some maybe
Mm,
betting and I might hit it later.
yeah, but he doesn't raise bets that often, right? He doesn't raise bets so often.
Uh, he
Does he raise your C bet so often? You see, he doesn't raise your C bet. He never raise
no,
your.
he hasn't really.
Yeah, so I would think that if he has a hand like jacks here, he's gonna call the flop and turn. Turn I don't have the information, but probably the same.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's good to bet here and call a raise, of course. He could raise you with jacks here.
Okay.
Mm. So I guess he raised. He raised, did he?
I
Yeah, of course I'm calling here. I'm calling here. Of course, yeah, I'm calling here.
okay.
Yeah. And he guess he shows you a full house or something. Yeah.
Yeah, full house. He had a
Yeah, too bad. I'm definitely going in here. Yeah. Because I think he could raise a hand like jacks, tens, even a hand like a6. You see, a hand like a6 could raise here because he's really aggressive on
But
the river.
uh,
Yeah. You see, if you take out the accumulator again, can you open up the accumulator again?
hand like ace6, why won't he raise it on the turn itself? Because he might want some protection also
Oh
against flush
yes,
draws.
of course he could raise on the turn.
Unless he has ace of spades.
You could raise it on the turn, but do you have his turn stats and see how he does? You see, he doesn't raise that much, right? If he has
He
a6, looking at his stats, he's not that aggressive on the turn, right? He's not that aggressive on the
he's
turn.
27. He's 18% on flop,
Yeah.
slightly more aggressive.
So I won't be surprised if he waits until the river to raise it. I mean, of course, if you say like, if you say, oh, he's afraid that you hit your spade, but this guy probably doesn't think that much. He's probably thinking, oh, I have done nuts, I'm going to raise on the river to get the maximum value I can,
Okay.
because I see that maheep is betting into me. Yeah, so I think a6
Alright.
is going to be in his range. But of course, if you have stats that this guy always raises the turn, then probably he doesn't have a6 on the river that often. So if you take out your accumulator and you accumulate the board, 6, what's the board like? 4, spade, 6, spade, and what is that?
Two,
2, 2 spade, 6, 6 diamond, 7 clubs. Okay, he could have a hand like, of course he could have 4s, he could have 6s, he could have 2s, he could even have 7s, but he could have 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, kings as well. But
queens, kings, he might still 3-bet
yeah, he could have
pre-flop.
3-betted. So
He,
I think we
3%
keep
3-bet, so.
yeah. So I think we keep in one hand queens, just one
Okay.
hand kings and aces. We assume that he doesn't do that. And one hand, what else he could have it here?
He could be slow playing a nut flush draw.
Okay, of
So
course.
nut flush.
So maybe something like ace, spade, deuce, spade. I mean, any of those two combinations. I don't think he has so many combinations of nut flushes. Ace, spade, three, spade, ace.
The fact that he's calling from button, he might actually have.
What?
The fact that he called, I opened from cutoff and he called from button.
Okay.
So he might actually have all ace X suited in his range.
Yeah, ace X suited. Okay, so ace X, but specifically ace spade, 2 spade, ace 4, ace spade, 4 spade, ace spade, 5 spade. Okay, and of course he could have a6, a6 suited. Does it work? No, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work?
We need to enter our hands as well, 9 is suited. So that's when we'll get.
I think is it because never mind, let's change it to hearts to see if it works. Why doesn't it work? No, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, 8 spades, 9 spades, okay. Yeah, so you see we are still doing pretty well. Yeah, of course, if you add in a6, we're doing even better, right? So 70%, I'm definitely calling here.
Oh, yeah, I think we've covered everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a call, obviously. Yeah, just to show you how your equity is definitely a call. Okay, let's do the next hand. Ace queen, and you raised. Okay, fine. Somebody called you. Okay, can you describe what you know about this guy? NL poker. What is your impression of him?
90, 10% of his hands. 3-bet is 7.8, so he's not 3-betting from late position. Then I'll expect him to have weaker hands in his range that he's calling with. Otherwise, he seems aggressive enough to.
Can you repeat again? I can't hear you. So
He's paying 29.19, so he's calling about 10% of his hand so far, and his 3-bet is 7.8%. So I expect him to 3-bet me with the better part of his range. So if he's calling, I think it's probably some low pocket pairs, or I think 7.8% might even 3-bet Broadway. So some low ace
okay,
or some low.
if you take a look carefully at his stats, he's not 3-betting so much on the cutoff, more on the small blind, big blind, and the button. You see? So it's not going so crazy on you. And
Yeah, okay.
he's calling like what you said, 10% of hands on the cutoff, about there. Okay, so good. So let's go on. And there's this guy, 3-bet 3. Okay, I know we don't have much stats on him, but I still need some form of conclusion, some form of guess on his play. 33-0, right? So what do you think this person is?
This is just 3 hands, so
Yeah.
I really can't say anything right now.
You
I
have
suppose
to.
he'll be. I'll give him a normal standard calling range, pocket pairs,
I think he's calling
X,
pretty.
King X.
I think he's calling pretty wide here because you see, I mean, I know we don't have much hands, but we have to make a conclusion if we ever play a hand with this guy. Well, which is I'm just gonna assume he's a fish. I know we don't have much
Okay,
stats, but that's what we're gonna work with.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
chances are he's a fish because he just caught 1 out of 3 hands and he didn't raise anything. I mean, I know it seems a little bit premature, but I think that bet is gonna be right. Okay, and you hit and you raise. Okay, good. Why did you raise here?
Suppose I usually when someone bets so blind pot, they're usually showing a weak pair or a weak ace.
Okay, okay.
The tendency I've seen is that they call a raise on the turn, they might fold. If
I
it's
can't
something
hear
like
you. I can't
ace
hear you very
10,
well.
ace 9 or something, he might again call.
I can't hear you very well.
Okay, so what I'm saying, then they're usually doing it with a with a medium pair like pocket, with like a 9 pair or maybe pocket 10s or even pocket 8s or pocket 7s, and weaker aces like ace 3.
Okay, so let me rephrase what you're saying. You're saying that he will bet a lot of weak aces this way and quite a number of pairs like nines, the 9 pair or 8 or hands like pocket 8s, pocket 10s this way, right? And
Yeah,
okay, do you think he will play draws like that as well? Hands like king, queen of spades?
yeah, he can.
Okay, so there are quite a number of hands you could play this way. 7-8, 7-8 offsuit, nothing. Do you think he'll play this way?
7, 8 also he might down bet like this,
Yeah, okay.
trying to get a cheap call
7-10,
around and trying to get
7-10.
some,
How about
trying
7-10?
to get a cheaper look at the turn.
Yep, 7-10. That's his gut shot. Do you think he's gonna bet like that as well?
I don't think he'll bet 7.
I think he's gonna bet that because sometimes they just don't know what to do. They just throw out a bet like that. Okay, so let's say a hand like 8-9, 8 sorry 7-8 bets into you and you raise. You think he's gonna call?
Definitely, and he'll see the turn.
Correct. So you're raising here for value against a very very wide range of hands for 3-bet me Fred against 3-bet me Fred. So yes, your raise is good. And this NL poker, what does he do? Okay, he folds. And he calls. Okay, keep in mind here, he could also have a flush draw, straight draws, and okay, the flush hits. Okay, fishers have a lot of flush draws in their range.
Yeah.
I mean, he has more flush draws than he has straight draws. Okay,
He,
so I'm going to be very wary here because the spade just hit. And he's gonna have flush, and of course that just make the board worse because there are quite a number of 2 pairs. He could have made some 2 pairs. I had like 6-7. Sorry, I had like 6-8 made 2 pair. I had like 8-9 made 2 pairs. So nothing is giving up here, but let's see what you did. Okay, he bets into you. What did you do?
yeah. I called because I still have a redraw,
Oh,
second best flush.
okay, so you are aware that this card is very bad for you. The eight of spades is bad because it completed some straight draws, all flush draws, and made some two pairs. So when you call
Yeah.
here, what is your plan before the river even comes?
Uh, if he bets on the river, if he bets big on the river and I don't make my hand, then I will be giving it up.
Okay, so okay, that's good. But why are you giving it up? What do you think he has when he bets on you on a turn like that?
Okay. I just had to draw. So okay, if he bets on the river, depends on his bet size. Okay, after this the pot will be about 8.7.
Mhm.
So let's say he bets like $4 or $5
Oh,
because he can still have some weaker aces that he might play this way.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Usually when a fish, you see, which is why we need an assumption on this guy. I'm assuming he's a fish. When he gets
Mm-hmm.
raised, I don't think he's going to bet out here on a turn unless he has a hand that can beat the ace on the board. So I'm going to guess that over here, I'll say maybe 70% of the time, he's going to have a flush. Okay, the other 30% of the time, he's going to have a hand like ace 9, ace 6, ace 8, a hand like 8 9, a hand like 7 10. So I think over here you are usually beat. By the turn you're usually beat, and
Okay.
all you're hoping for is to hit your flush.
Yeah.
That's all you're hoping for. And
Okay. I wanna ask something about the turn here.
okay.
If he
Sorry?
here, then let's say he hadn't bet on the turn. Let's say he just checks on the turn. So then
If he checks the turn, you mean?
redraw. Yeah. Let's assume he checked the turn and he didn't bet.
Uh,
Check behind because I have a
I don't know.
showdown value.
I uh I could bet again. I could check. Mm,
If
because
I
this
if he
card is really bad and he hits his range a lot.
checks the
Mm, I think I think I would bet, but I won't bet so big. I think I will bet something like $2.50 just to get value from his hands, to get value from weaker aces, to get value from a hand like uh, 9-10 that bet and decided not to give up because he now has a draw. Yeah, so I will probably bet something like $2.30, $2.40. But if he raises, I'm folding immediately.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
if he raises, I'm folding immediately
Uh,
because he always has a flush or two pair better here.
okay. What I usually do is, let's say I did not have the queen of spades. Let's say this was the queen of hearts. Then I'll definitely go for a bet if he checks the turn. When I usually have a good redraw, I tend to check and see a
Mm, I really don't
because
know
I think
because
because I
this is a very bad card.
with my top pair.
This 8 is a very bad card. I think that there are enough hands in his range that could call you that are worse. But at the same time, I think that many of his hands has improved. So I I,
Yeah.
I I really don't know whether you should be betting on the 8 of spades. Yeah, I'm really not sure. But if you told me this was something like the deuce
Mm-hmm.
of spades or deuce of hearts, I'm definitely
Mm-hmm.
betting here. And I'll bet
Okay.
three
Okay.
three dollar $3.20, $3.40 for pure value. But the 8 is really bad. I
Okay.
really don't know whether I should be betting here because uh if I had the ace, let's say over here, if I didn't have the ace queen, if I have something like ace 5, I'll check behind because the hand is not so good against so much of his range. But if I have ace
Yeah.
king here, I'll bet because ace king ace queen, yeah, I think I'll still bet because quite a number of his hands, weaker hands, could still call here, although a big portion of it also have improved. I would say because I think he has a lot of aces in his range here, and hence like 9
Yeah.
10, 8 10, 7 8, they will still continue.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I will still bet here. Even if I have the ace queen of not spades, I think I will still bet here. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's continue.
Okay. And you hit your queen of spade, and what did he do? He shoved. Okay, I'm calling here, but I guess he probably has the king of spades, because
Yeah.
yeah, I guess probably I'm calling here because he could shove a lot of stuff. You see, if he has a jack of spades, he's probably going to shove. I think. Uh, seven, seven may not shove. Uh, yeah, even maybe a nine of spades could shove here because he completed his draw. You see, he has completed his draw on the turn and then just bet and then just shove it in. So a flush, any something like 7-9, 7 jack of spades, and sometimes even 5-7 of spades, things like that. Yeah, so I'm calling here
Mm-hmm.
because the reason you called is because you wanted to call when you complete, right? And you think that there's quite a lot. The reason on the turn over here when you called was because you think that there's a fair number of flushes that you beat on the river, right? If
True,
there's a
true.
chance that he completes his flush here, you're expecting him to have flushes like 7, 7, 10, 7, 9 of spades, 5, 7 of spades, uh, 5, yeah, something like that, or king, which is not good, but quite a fair amount of flush draws that you beat. So I think definitely you got a call here and die to his him.
Oh,
Yeah, so yeah, you see,
seven
so
nine
so
straight flush.
yeah, but the thing is, you already know that there's a good chance that he has a flush on the turn. Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
definitely we're calling here. Yeah, because
yeah.
we thought that we could beat a fair amount of his flush. He could probably play a hand like 5-7 of spades this way. Yeah.
True.
So yeah, so good call.
Yeah, I called turn to make my flush, and I made my flush. So I was definitely
Yeah.
going,
Yep.
definitely calling him on the river.
Okay, very good. Okay, pocket nines. Okay, this will be the last hand before I look at the winning hands. I'll look at some winning hands that you played as well. You called here. Let me see his steal. What is his steal? Do you have his steal stat?
His steal is 24%.
Steal is 24%. What is his fold to
Yeah.
3 bet?
His 3 bet is 4.9.
No, his fold to 3 bet.
Fold to 3 bet is 99. Sample of two hands.
Two hands,
He's
99.
folded both. Yeah.
Okay, which is actually 100. What is his flop C-bet?
75.
And what is his fold to flop C-bet? 50%. Okay. And male demon. Male demon. Mm, I think C-bet. Fold to flop C-bet. I think you could have 3-bet this hand as well. As in, it's an option. I don't think calling is that bad. I think you could 3-bet because he folds a lot. Means you turn the hand into the bluff and just 3-bet it to $1.
Okay. What I usually tend to do is I always call pocket pairs from blinds for just set mining. So what hands do you think should usually be 3-bet from here?
Okay,
What up to what
if
pocket
I
pairs should you
because
3-bet
you
here?
see, if when you have nines, you have some form of showdown value. So you don't mind calling because if you go to the flop and he bets, you still can call. And let's say he checks the turn, you can take a showdown with nines. But if you have a hand like pocket deuces, pocket threes,
Uh-huh.
you are almost
Uh-huh.
never gonna win a showdown, and you are almost never
Uh-huh.
going to see a showdown, and
Uh-huh.
you probably not going to have a lot of set mining odds because the button range is very wide. But in this case, his button range is only 20 over percent. But I think I'll still trip at that hand because I prefer if it folds immediately because he get the money early because he folds to 3-bet, right? So I'll prefer to 3-bet a hand like pocket deuce, pocket threes, pocket fours,
Okay.
pocket fives, pocket sixes, and ace suited hands, ace deuce, ace three, ace four, ace five suited, because he just folds
Uh-huh.
so often, and we can just pick up his blinds. I mean his raise. Yeah, but with pocket nines, I think I could call, I could 3-bet. It's fine. Yeah. So okay.
If you have then do you,
Sorry?
if you have something like ace jack here on the small blind, do you three bet or do you think it's better to just call?
Okay, we're gonna look at his fold to check raise on the flop. Okay, we only have one sample. When you call a hand like ace jack, I watched this video from Your Doom Poker. Usually you are trying to pick up the hand. You are usually not going to win with a showdown with ace jack, which means most of the time you are going to turn your hand into a bluff. Yeah, if you call with a hand like ace jack, you see, if you call with a hand like ace jack and you're just gonna check call and check fold, that is a very very bad plan. You are losing a lot of money
Okay.
if you just check call and check fold, because 70 to 80% of the time you're not going to hit your ace and jack, and you're just going to check call, check fold. Very bad. So which means that you have to plan to check raise the flop a lot with ace jack, because most of the time you're going to have one or two overcuts, and
Okay.
usually people would c bet and fold. But if you take a look at this guy, he c bets and he calls. Okay, bad news is we don't have that many stats, but I'm going to assume that the stats are reliable. If not, we just can't work with it. So I'm going to three bet ace jack, because this guy folds pre-flop. You see, so I would prefer three betting ace jack to get him to fold pre-flop. However, if this guy bet folds a lot, which is this stat here that the mouse is on, is actually c bet fold. I believe. Yeah, c bet fold. If he c bet and folds a lot, I would prefer calling ace jack. Why? Because he's going to throw in a c bet with a huge portion of his range, 75%, right?
True.
And most of the time he's just going to check fold. I mean, so he's going to bet fold. So I would prefer calling if this guy bet folds a lot. But this guy bet calls a lot, which is not good for your ace jack, because you have to continue betting the turn as a bluff. And most of the time, that is not a very good plan, because you're not going to hit the turn so often. Yep. So
him, and considering how tight he is, won't I isolate myself against better hands? Because anything he continues with will be a better hand, and everything else he'll just.
Yes, you are right.
If he's opening ace 10, ace 9, king, queen.
Okay, you are correct. You are correct here. But I want to bring your attention that most of your money is actually earned from stealing the blinds. Okay, so number one, you make a lot of money when you steal his blinds, which is the 30 cents raise that he made. Most of the time he's just going to fold. That's number one. Okay. Number two is, let's say he has a hand that dominates you, like ace queen and ace king. Okay.
Yeah.
The flop comes. Most probably the flop is not going to hit you, and it's not going to hit him. 60%, 70% of the time it's not going to hit him. So let's say a board comes 4-7 jack or 4-7 queen, and he has ace king, and you bet. What do you think he's going to do with ace king?
He'll three bet once.
No, I mean you c bet, because you three bet, right? You three bet, and he calls, and you're afraid that he has a dominating hand. What is he gonna do with it?
He might call me once, because I won't really represent much. He'll only be scared of queen pair.
Okay. So
I might need a double barrel, although I see his fold to c bet is quite high. He might even fold and give it up.
Correct, that's right. Okay, so this information I just passed to you is from a ladder S video. I watched Dusty's video, ladder S. So he mentioned that this is not such a big problem, because most of the time, if the other person has a dominating hand, okay, the chances of him hitting a card that dominates you, which is in this case the ace, right? The ace is going to dominate you, right? Okay, the chances of him hitting an ace, there's only 2 aces left in the deck, which means that the chance of him hitting an ace is as good as a pocket pair trying to hit a set.
Yeah.
So basically, you don't have to worry about domination, because it just happens so rarely. And most of the time, when you have a hand like ace queen and ace king, it's fine. He's just going to fold it. Most of the time on the flop to c bet, because he's not going to hit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry
so
much about domination. But that's of course because his range is about 24%. We can think like that. But if his range is like 9%, yeah, then you can't do that because 9% is just way too strong.
True,
Yeah,
true.
24% is fine. You still don't have to worry so much about domination because you can win his race very often.
Okay.
Okay, so you hit, and what do? You check.
Yeah.
And what is your
My
play?
normally what I do is I check raise with a set, and I want
Uh,
which spots do you think are better to lead when you hit
it really depends on your
raise?
opponent. Okay, you see, if you dom into this opponent, you don't know what he's going to do. Okay, but if you check to him, what do you think he's going to do?
So I'm expecting one C bet at least because he can have a lot of Queen X, Jack X hands. He
Okay,
can have some open-ended straight draws with hands like Ace 10, King 10 will have a straight here.
okay. So this board hits him very well, right? Jack 8 9 9 Jack Queen hits him very well because he has the 24% range, has a lot of broadways.
True, true.
Okay,
He can, yeah.
okay. So when you raise him, do you think he's gonna fold if you check raise?
Queen Jack, he won't fold. Other than that, open-ended also he might not fold. I'm not too sure about that with a 10. Actually, he might play a 10.
Okay,
Uh, Other than that, I think single pairs like Jack, like Ace Jack, he might fold. King Jack, he might fold.
okay. But
Uh,
chances are he's calling a very very wide range here, correct? And you look at his stat. I mean, it's just one, but chances are he's going to call here, and this flop hits his range very heavily. So chances are he's going to call a lot here. So what does that tell you about your raise size?
I think I made it pot size here for some protection against.
Yeah. In fact, I think you can go even bigger than that. Yeah.
Okay.
I would you should consider going bigger, maybe $2.80, maybe $3 here.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's just gonna call with the same hands that you just mentioned. Jack Queen, King 10 of course beats you, and the 10, yeah, and Queen King probably will call you. So I think it's good to make a very very big raise here, and because the board is wet, yeah, there are many cards that are not good for you. A 10 is not good for you. A King is not good for you. A 8 is not good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you should. Of course, the big size is good, but maybe you can go even bigger. 280, 290, $3.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I'm gonna expect him to call. And the 6 comes. What you gonna do here? Let's see. You bet. Oh, whoa, very good.
I
Yeah, I mean,
I oh,
I like the bet actually. Yeah, I like the bet, but maybe it's a little bit too big. Okay. Uh,
uh, it's yeah. I bet enough to get him all in here itself.
yeah. I mean, I like the idea because okay, when you bet this big, why do you bet this big?
If he's calling the flop, if a pot size raise on the flop, he's definitely very happy with his hand.
Yep, that's right.
So
Okay.
the river, I'm not going to get more value out of him. So I'm
Okay.
going for max value.
Okay, that's good. Do you think a hand like a queen would call here when you just check raise and
Queen
overbet?
10 can call here. Queen Jack will definitely call. Queen Jack might have gone all in
How about a hand
pre-flop.
like queen king?
Sorry, I'm yeah. King Queen. I might not actually. I'm
Correct.
not too
So
sure.
that is not good for you because you want a hand like queen king to call. Okay, how about a hand like a 10 here?
10 I expect to call because if he's happy calling a pot size raise on the flop,
No, I don't think.
I think he might call on the turn also.
I don't think he's that crazy to call you with king with a 10 here because all he has is a draw. I don't think he's calling a 10 here. So that is not good because you want him to call a 10, right?
But he can have something like Queen 10, Jack 10 that he might still call.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. So I wouldn't fault the bet here, but I think maybe you could make it something like $7. $7
Uh-huh.
because he could call the 10, which is good for you, and he could call and the Jack 10, yeah, of course Jack 10, I think probably Jack 10 would call here. But Jack 10 could
Yeah.
consider folding, I think, because your bet is really big. It might scare him off. Yeah, I think Jack 10 could consider folding. What do you think?
I still think if Jack 10, if he's happy calling the flop, he might even call a turn bet here with Jack 10.
No.
Because see, as far as he's concerned, if I have the queens, I would have 3 bet. He can only legitimately put me on pocket nines, and many people even 3 bet pocket nines from blinds. So the only legitimate hand I'm trying to represent here is a straight with king 10, because 10-8 is also a bet too.
Okay, okay. I mean, I don't mind. I
So
don't
I
mind your
think,
shove here. I just thought that there was quite a lot of worse hands that could call you if you bet something like $7. You know, don't put him all in. $7.50. You know, say, oh, I can still try to hit my 10. The queen could still call you.
yeah,
So I thought that you actually get more value from the worst hands by betting something like $7 here. And it
okay.
doesn't make a difference because whatever happens, you're still shoving it in on the river. Yeah. So I think you do get a lot of value from a hand like a 10 and a queen here. You just scared you might have scared away a queen here. So that is not good.
Uh-huh.
So let's go. And he calls. And yep, too bad for you. That's all. Okay, let's
Yeah.
go to the winning hands. I'm gonna move away from here for about 1 minute. Can you choose 5 losing hands and then I'll be back?
Okay,
Okay,
fine. All
so
right.
just 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Choose 5 losing hands from your Hold'em manager.
5 losing or 5 winning?
Losing. Hey, wait. These are the losing hands, right? Okay. Choose 5 winning hands. Winning hands. Okay. 5 winning hands.
Okay.
Okay. I'll be back
All
in
right. All
one
right.
minute.
Okay.
Okay. I think try to choose those that are 100 big blinds.
Okay. Uh, these are, yeah, close to 100 big
Yeah.
blinds.
Okay. Just open up a few.
These are all 100 big blinds. So I'll just select some from here. These after rake would have been 100 blinds. I'll skip the standard ones. Okay, let's look at this one. Hello?
Yep.
Hello?
Yep. Okay. Let's. You selected a few, right?
I couldn't select a lot, but I'll just skip through, like, whenever we see a standard hand, we'll just skip through that and
Yeah.
do something else.
Okay.
So, okay, so here should I call or should I raise him
Let's
on
take
this
a look
flop?
at his range. Okay, you see his range here is very wide. Is it
Yeah.
okay? And do you have more stats on him? C bets not so much. I think I'll just I think I'll raise because I don't know whether he's going to bet on the turn. Do you know whether he's going to bet on the turn?
He has a higher c-bet percent on the turn. He has 75 on the turn compared to 57 on the flop.
Okay, then in that case I would call him. But if he doesn't,
I,
if I have no
I mean,
information on it,
yeah, he has 57 on the flop and 75 on the turn.
yeah, then I would call and let him bet. Yeah, we'll call and let him bet.
Okay.
But of course I'm gonna raise here. You probably did. Yeah. And just shove it in. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Pretty good. Good. Okay, the next hand. Call and raise. Okay. Call.
Okay, here what I usually start, now what I start doing here is not c-betting and playing my hand is way ahead, way behind. Because he can have an ace, he can have a king that beats me. So I'm not very happy with pocket queens here, especially since it's a 3-bet pot.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm a bit confused now. Should I c-bet here or should I check? Nowadays, I usually check here
Um,
and see how he plays and what he does.
I think it's fine to play like what you mentioned, to just check call and get value from his bluffs. Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
that, that, that would be good. Yeah, or you if you bet here, most of the stuff that are folding are just uh hands that could have bluffed but would have folded. Hands like
yeah.
yeah, not many hands could call here, other than hands that are really better than yours. Yeah, so I think a check
Okay.
call is fine. Yeah, so now that he bet and
Yeah,
you
here
know
I
this
think
this
I
is
now
very
I'll never bet
yeah, you should never be betting here.
because
So
yeah,
yeah, and he calls and you hit your queen. Yeah,
yeah,
then of course you bet. Yeah, okay. So this is a very bad hand. Of course, once in a while he calls the flop with a hand like that, but
uh-huh.
I think check call is gonna be better because hands he called like this 10 jack could bet, and hands like
Mm-hmm.
maybe 6 7 7 8 8 9 random stuff 9 10 could try to bluff you off. So I think you could probably check call once or twice. Yeah,
Okay.
as a bluff catcher. Yeah. So okay, next hand. So this the bet on the turn was really very bad because
He-
yeah, he definitely has a ace. He definitely has a hand there that he wants to continue. And
Yeah,
usually
I
it's just the
think this
ace.
should be a standard one pocket aces. I think we can skip
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
I think it might be a pre-flop one. I do have some doubt about betting on the river with many hands.
Why don't you
There are
pick that?
times when I have a top pair
Can you pick them?
and I double barrel, and on the river if a flush draw something completes and I'm in position, I go for a check rather than bet fold. So I'm a bit confused about those
Okay, why
spots.
don't you pick those spots for me to see and I'll access them for you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
um, okay, so okay, for example, let me just look for a top pair hand.
Okay.
For example, this hand,
Okay, let's go.
ace 10. Will you run the hand or should I go through it?
Why don't you go through it and then I'll ask you questions.
Okay. So I'm opening from cutoff
Mm-hmm.
and I get a call by I think I have pretty decent sample on him, pretty loose, 60-48.
Okay.
I hit my top pair, so I'm going for a value here.
Okay. Can I see more of his stats? Like how often does he fold on to C bets?
Okay, his flop fold to c bet is only 29%.
Okay, he raises a lot. And what is his turn fold to
Yeah,
C
so
bet?
he's calling a lot. On the turn also it's 45%. So he's calling a lot of double barrels also. So he's the kind of guy who I won't really bluff a lot.
Yeah. So
I'll try and get more value from him.
okay, let's go.
His when to showdown is 33%, so very high.
Okay.
So my plan will be to go for value against him.
You mean on the river as well?
Usually. So yeah, this is one of those spots where I don't know if I should go for value on the river or
Okay,
not.
let's run the hand. So yeah, you go for value here. I like it. 50 cents, maybe. I think you could even go bigger here because you see this guy is a fish and this board is actually pretty wet. 2 million cards. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
eats quite a lot of his range. In fact, three cards that are connected and with a flush draw and 2 million cards. So I'll probably bet something like 60 cents here. Yeah,
Okay.
because and you know he calls you so often. So 60 cents is okay. I think
All
yeah.
right. Okay.
But of course 50 cents is good as well. Okay, a tree comes and what do you do?
And I think I can make it bigger
Yeah,
here
definitely.
also for the same
150.
logic as on the
Yeah,
flop. So I
so
can make it about 140, I
yeah,
think.
the
Oh,
tree
sorry, 140
okay,
on
the
the
tree
turn.
the tree didn't really help much. Yeah, not much. I think the tree didn't help much. So I think yeah, tree the bet is good. Okay, next. And the flush comes.
Yeah.
Okay, 7. Uh, mm,
So here, do you think it's better to bet fold? Maybe go for half pot size, bet $2 and bet fold, or just check
the
behind?
problem with this
Because I feel like I.
the problem with this card is that it doesn't just complete the flush draw. It completes some straight draws and makes some two pairs as well. This is one of the worst cards that can come. The 7 of diamonds and the 9 of diamonds are the worst two cards that you can get from the deck. If this
Mhm.
was a 2 of diamonds, I would bet again because it only completes
Okay.
flush draws. And a 10
Mhm.
a 10 could call you again, an 8 could call you again. So I'm definitely betting
Uh-huh.
this if it's a 2 of diamonds. But for 7 of diamonds, the problem is it completes the flush draw as usual. But it also
Mhm.
completes some hands, like for example, 7 8. Uh, yeah, 7 8, 9 Jack, and 7 10, of course. But he could have quite a lot of hands in his range. So, and yeah. So 3 4 5 6 7. I think what is his check raise like? He check raise a lot
Uh,
on the flop, right?
yeah, not.
Mm.
I
I think I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check behind here because yeah, I'm gonna check behind here.
his aggression on the river is also quite less. It's 49 on the flop, 41 on the turn, and just 28 on the river. So it's not very aggressive on the river.
Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna check behind this. I mean, I know he's very wide, but the 7 of diamonds is really very bad. Yeah, I will bet on the 2 of diamonds. I'll bet on the king of diamonds. I'll bet on
Okay.
of course I'll bet on the ace of diamonds. But
Ah.
the 7 and the 9 of diamonds I'm gonna check back. 7 9
How much do you bet when you do bet?
probably gonna bet something like $2.50 because okay, a 10 is definitely gonna call you, but how about a hand like an 8? Or what if he hit a 7? You consider okay, let's say he has a hand like deuce and
Mhm.
deuce and he let me think. Yeah, if he has an 8, you have a hand like an 8, he might not no, actually he would call. If a card like a deuce of diamonds falls, I'm gonna bet
Mhm.
$3. Yeah, $3 because the 8 is still gonna call. The 8 is gonna call, the 10 is gonna call. Yeah. But
Okay.
of course, if you throws in a check raise, I'm gonna fold. But if a card like a king of diamonds come, okay, the 8 of diamonds is now very weak. If I bet $3, the 10 of diamond, the 10, if he has a 10, he's calling me. But if he has an 8, he might not call because now if a king comes, the 8 is now third pair, right? So I'll
Yeah.
probably bet something like $2.20, $2.30 to get a call from the 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So I want him to call the 8. So I'm gonna bet a size that the 8 calls. So I'm gonna check back here. So
Oh,
yeah, what happened?
okay.
Yeah, I'll check.
Yeah, I checked back. He had a ace 8. Yeah, he had an 8.
Yeah, so I'll check back.
Uh, okay, this, let's see this hand. I have pocket nines.
Okay.
I open from cutoff, and this player calls me. He's playing 31-17. I have 73 hands, not very aggressive, and his fold to flop c bet is 50%.
Okay.
Turn, I just have one sample, and I think he called there.
Okay.
Not very aggressive, just 21% post flop aggression, and aggression factor is also just 0.9.
Okay.
So I am value betting with my overpair here.
Okay.
He calls. This turn, I bet. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I like the bet because whatever he's calling you on with the flop, he's telling you he has something. Of course, he could have a
Mm-hmm.
hand like Queen Jack, King
Mm-hmm.
Queen, but I think more often with that range that he has the 30 over percent, probably is wider
Mm-hmm.
on the small blind. Do you have a small blind range? No, no, right? 73 hands. I think he has a lot
Mm,
more hands there. And 7-8 is,
yeah.
yeah, you see, cold calls pretty wide. You see, 33% on the small blind and
He,
40% on the big blind.
yeah.
So I guess he probably has a
Yeah.
hand range of about 40% on the small blind. And that's going to include a lot of
Uh-huh.
hands like 9, 10. Oh, yeah, of course, you block 9, 10. 10 Jack,
Uh-huh.
and could have hands like 5, 6, 5, 7, 8, 9, 7, 9, 6, 7, Ace 7, Ace 8. Yeah, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely throwing in a bet here. So I think there are many
Okay.
worse
So
hands that can call. Yeah, this is bet. And he calls.
on
The reverse is
yeah
set.
on the river.
Mm,
So
I'm gonna
here,
check because I don't think there's a lot of value you can get. Only from the 8.
okay. What if this was like a jack?
I'm also going to check.
Okay. And what if it was a low card like 2 or 5?
Okay, then what is his when to showdown?
42%,
I'm going to
quite
bet
high.
him. Definitely betting here because if he has an 8, he's calling. If he has a 7, he's calling. 42% means that he's calling a 7. He's calling an 8. So
Yeah.
yeah, he could
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
call a
Yeah.
5
Okay.
if he has pocket 5s or pocket 6. He could even call it. So I'm definitely betting if a card like a deuce or a 3 drops. Yeah, I'm betting and even if a
Okay.
4 drops, I would still bet because the 4 is not so much in his range.
True.
Yeah,
True. He can have 7x, but not
yeah.
4x. True.
So I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna bet here
Okay.
with yeah.
Okay, this also I face these situations also many times when I flop a set. Normally I assume that when there's a one card straight or a one card flush, I don't usually go for a bet because I think that it's very straightforward there.
Yeah.
So here he just limps, I raise him, and he
Okay, is this guy a fish?
calls
This
me.
guy's a fish, right? He's a whale.
Yeah,
Raise
63,
raise
so
bigger.
very, very passive. Post flop 0.6, so again, very, very passive.
Raise him
His
to
aggression is only 13%. He's calling a lot.
okay, raise bigger here. Why you against fishes when you have a hand? Okay, pocket sixes not that good, but I think you're still ahead of his range. I'll probably raise something like 50 cents here against him. If I had a hand at pocket nines,
Okay,
definitely I'm raising 50 cents or even 60 cents
okay,
sometimes, depends on how much he's calling me. Yeah, so this is a little too small. Pocket sixes, maybe you should still raise at least 40 cents. Yeah, because most of your money are
okay,
being
okay.
made from fishes, so you will want to raise bigger against them. Because most of the time they're just going to give up on the flop. Does he? Does he give up on the flop, this guy?
So I hit a top set.
Okay, and just
He checks and I go for value.
yep.
2/3.
Make it bigger. Does he fall on the flop?
50?
Yeah, 50 cents. Make it bigger because if he has a hand like Queen Jack here, it's probably calling you. Anything is calling you. I think it's calling you with almost 100% of his range here. If he has a hand like Ace Deuce, Ace 3 is calling, Ace 4, Ace 5 is calling, Ace 6, Ace 7 is calling, Ace 10 is calling, Ace Jack is calling, King Queen is calling, 5 6 is calling, 5 7 is calling, 8 9 could even find a call here, 2 overcards. I think it's calling all his hands here, so you just make it. You could even consider potting here 60 cents because it's calling everything.
Okay.
It's calling everything. He's definitely calling it, yeah. Okay, and
So
yeah.
here he checks again and I bet $1 into 140.
Okay, yeah, you can make it a little bit bigger as well.
About 120.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. He calls and on the river I have a 3 4 5 6. So it's a one card straight. So he checks again. Now
No,
here should I
no.
go for thin value or do you think it's like proper full fat value against him?
Let me see.
Or should I just check behind?
Let's see his whoa.
When to showdown is
Whoa,
55.
55. Um, 55 and he has 60%. 60% on the big blind. How often does he fold to see bet?
47% on the flop.
This close spot because I think he could have a fair amount of like. Do you think he will call a 5 here?
I think he'll be very scared to call here because usually on such a coordinated board, he'll also expect me to have a very strong hand if I'm betting. So straights are very unlikely here.
But do you think he'll call if there's a 5, or do you think he'll call if
I
there's a 6? I know you block sixes.
I don't know. I actually tend to believe that they might actually fold.
Yeah, then you shouldn't be betting here. Yeah. You shouldn't be betting here because he's going to fold out all his hands. So you're killing yourself with a bet. Because if he has 6, he's folding. If he has a 5, he's folding. He's only calling you with a straight. So a bet is suicide, right?
Yeah.
So you should just check. And what does he show you? I don't know.
He showed me king 9.
Yeah, but this particular hand would probably have called. Yeah, against this hand.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But I mean, you can't take that kind of bet. Yeah, so you see, I think this shows you that your flop bet should have been way bigger, right?
Yeah.
He was calling
to get more value.
100% of his hands was calling on the flop.
Yeah. Okay, for some reason I checked here. I think I sometimes get a little scared when I have a lower kicker, like a 9.
Okay.
So
let's see what happened.
Here with ace, I open with ace 9 and...
Reaction. Poker's KK. Okay, let's go with Chris.
Okay, so he's playing 35-27, only 28 hands. Fold to c-bet is 0% in one hand. And he's quite aggressive, 53% post-flop aggression. And he's quite balanced in his aggression across streets, 50, 60, 50.
Okay, let's
Went to showdown 50%.
Okay.
So he checks, I bet here.
Okay. And call. Okay, let's go.
Now I've made trips, so I bet again. Here, do you think the size is okay, or do you think I should go for more here?
I think right from the flop. What was the flop sizing again? Can I see your flop sizing?
Flop was 40 into 65.
Okay, maybe you could have made the flop a little bit bigger. Because I mean, you have top pair. Top pair is good against him most of the time, and the board 5-6 is not very drawy, but there are some draws, not so many of them. Yeah, but when he calls you, he could have a draw, he could have an ace, and you see his how wide does he call in the big blind? Can you see? Okay, no, he probably calls quite.
25%.
Yeah.
Cold call
So
50%.
hands here like 7 8, 8 9, 6 7, ace 5, ace 5 5 6. Oh yeah, of course they're calling. Yeah, so I think you can go a little bit bigger. Of course you have ace deuce, ace 3, ace 4, ace 7, ace 8. They're still calling, right? Yeah, so I think you can go for a bigger bet here, maybe 50 cents. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so next. Okay, the ace didn't change much on the turn because if he has an ace, it doesn't change the position at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're ahead, you're still ahead. If you're behind, you're still behind. I think the bet is fine. 80 cents, 90 cents is fine because your kicker is not that strong. Sometimes you get beat by a hand like ace 10, you see? Yeah,
Yeah.
so once he called you on the flop, and if he calls this on the turn, there's a higher chance that he's gonna have a hand like an ace now. And if he has a hand like ace 10, you're beat, ace jack, you're beat. So
Uh-huh.
with a kicker like that, I think I'll probably bet something like 80, 90 cents. Yeah, so I think your sizing is fine. Yeah, but I'll bet bigger on the flop because I think
And
there's more that could call. Now ace deuce. Um, betting on the river. Right. Okay, can you open up Equilab? Open up Equilab and see. You see, does he have a 3-bet percentage? No 3-bet percentage, right?
he has, yeah, 0%
Zero
so
three
far.
bet. So he's a uh, doesn't really look like a fish. Just didn't 3-bet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give him a hand range and I'm going to see how you're doing against that. Ace spade to spade. So you have the ace diamond 9 diamonds, and his range could be okay. If he has a draw here, definitely he's not going to continue calling. Do you think he's going to continue calling you with a hand like pocket kings, pocket queens? I mean, pocket queens would probably 3-bet, but let's say he has a hand like pocket jacks, pocket tens. Do you think he's going to call 3 streets?
No, I think on the river he'll
Yep,
fold pocket
that's
jacks and
right.
pocket
So
tens.
the only hands that you're getting value from is the ace, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna just highlight all the aces.
I don't think he'll have ace. Yeah, ace 5, ace 6 he won't have because I think he would have raised them on the flop.
Okay.
Because he's quite aggressive. He's quite aggressive, so I'd expect him. In fact, I'm thinking since he's so aggressive, he might even raise something like ace king, ace queen on the turn
Yep.
when he
So
makes three of a kind.
yep. So okay. So I'm gonna remove ace. I think we just keep one combination inside. Ace jack, ace king. So I'll keep one of the combinations in. So no ace
Okay.
6, ace 5. Okay. So these are the only hands that going to continue. So I remove
Mm-hmm.
ace. I think I'll remove one combination ace queen because he could possibly have 3-betted that on the flop. So I'm going to apply this range and see how you're doing. So you can see that.
Slightly
Yeah.
ahead.
So and don't forget that let's say he has a hand. Let's say he has a hand like an ace 4 here, and you bet into him. Do you think there's a chance he could check raise?
I think if he had to check raise again, he would have done it on the turn because he's quite aggressive. Like
Oh really?
what we saw from his aggression frequency is he 53% post flop aggression. On the turn, he's the most aggressive with 60% aggression. So I think if he had to raise it, he might have raised it on the
On the turn. Okay.
unless he's slow playing. So
Yeah. So yeah, but there's a possibility.
no, I
I think there's a possibility he could be slow playing something like an ace 5, ace 6, right? Since you said that, he could be slow playing, and if you add in
yeah.
just one hand in a6, a possibility that he slow played that hand. You see that you're not very far ahead, right? I just added in one possibility that he could slow play a hand like a6. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, things to check. We don't have much value here. Yeah, so
Hmm.
I think the check's fine. Yeah, and what do you do? Yep.
So he had a flush
Yeah,
draw. So this was obviously going to fold
yeah, it's
anyway.
gonna fold that anyway. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, I like this play. So any other hand that you want to go through? Let's do a last hand.
Okay, should I be double barreling here?
Okay, let's go.
I have ace 9 off.
Okay, the fish is most likely gonna call you. Let's see. Okay, juggle.
Okay, so he has 44% fold to c bet on the flop and 40 on the turn.
Okay, and
Quite passive, 20% aggression, and very, very, very passive on the river so far. 30 hands and only 7% aggression. Yeah, he's donk betting 26%. But anyway, this in this case it won't matter since he has position.
okay, let's go.
Okay, there's another caller here.
This guy is a fish. Both are fishes, right? 21-8. So
Uh,
yeah,
yes, I don't have a big sample. 21-8.
you don't need a big sample to conclude that.
Fold to c bet is 99% so far, so maybe that's why I must have c bet into him.
Okay,
And fairly aggressive, 38%.
okay,
Don't have much stats on him, so here he checks and I c bet. So I think he'll call me with worse, this fish,
he's
and
calling you with a lot
he
worse. And the other one?
and the other one I can see just one hand and he folded to c bet,
I'm gonna
so
go bigger here.
maybe I'm
Actually,
taking a
60 cents.
step.
I think I'll make it like maybe 70 to 80 cents here, because the fish is
Okay.
just gonna call you so often, and you want to get a lot of value from him. Yeah. So
Okay.
I think I'm gonna bet 70 cents.
So
This is too small.
so the fish calls and the other guy folds, and then this card completes a flush draw and gives him a 4.
I don't think he has the 4
He
that
could
ends.
have 4 in his range that he called the flop with. It's quite possible. So here,
Oh,
should I c bet into him? Should I double barrel into him?
I think you definitely have to bet this, because he has such a wide range. Can you see what he's calling with on the button? How often is 25%?
25% cold call.
Okay, but
His VPIP is
if you
48% there.
look carefully at his cold call, I don't think the 25% of the button tells such a good story. Look at the cold call and the middle position and the cut off, because you don't have that many hands.
Yeah.
So I will guess he's calling on the button probably closer to maybe 40 to 50%. Yeah. So I think
Okay.
he's gonna have a lot of I think he's gonna have a lot of ace there, and if he called with some random king 10 or some jack and there's a diamond in it, he's probably gonna call you again. Yeah. So if he has some kind of a diamond, I don't know what he could call here. Maybe of course he could have flush draws. Yeah, I think if he has a hand like ace deuce of diamond, ace three of diamonds, he's calling here. Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
betting. Yeah, so I'm betting here.
So how much would you bet here?
Something like that, because you need to keep in mind that he could have a completed flush. I don't think he has a 4 so often. Yep. He could have a jack, and you want a jack to call, and he could have a diamonds. Something like ace something diamonds, jack 10 of diamonds, jack king of diamonds. Yeah. So I would, and your 9 is that not that strong. If I had a hand like ace queen, I would bet bigger, because your 9 is counterfeited. If you notice, your 9 is now counterfeited, because the jack, there's a pair on the board, so your best hand is now ace 4 jack. Your 9 is useless.
Yeah.
So I think I'll go ahead and bet not that big here. If I had ace queen, I'll bet bigger. Maybe ace queen, I'll bet maybe 140, 150. So, okay, let's go. And is this guy aggressive? This Jubilee?
He calls, and on the river here I decide to check. So I think I should be betting here again on the river, because the 3 didn't really change much.
Is he aggressive?
He's not very aggressive. Aggression factor of 1.1, and his aggression frequency is only 20%. On the river it's just 7%.
On the river it's just 7%. In that case, I think you can go for a bet here. Yeah, I think you can go for a bet. Why? Because because of course the ace is going to call you, but I don't think it's going to have a hand like ace king, ace queen, ace jack here. I don't think he's going to have that hand here. So but if he has a jack, he's going to call it, and he doesn't have a foresaw often, and I don't think he has a flush that often. I mean, of course he could have a flush. He will raise me, and
Yeah.
then I'm going to fold. But don't forget that if he had a flush here, he might not raise it. He may not raise it because he's so passive. He might just call a flush here. But if you check, he could bet his flush. You see, this guy is
Okay.
this guy is a little different. He's not going to raise his flush here. I don't think he's going to raise his flush here. This fish, yeah. I think there's a good chance that he's going to check. He's going to just call his flush if you bet into him. So over here, I'll probably bet something like $2.30, $2.50 to get value from his ace and to get value from the jack if he has it.
Okay, but if he has an ace, we're splitting anyway,
Yeah,
so
correct,
it won't really be much value.
But the jack, don't forget the jack. I think he could have a fair amount.
Yeah, jack, yeah.
So I think a bet is fine.
Yeah, jack he could have.
And don't forget the money you save because you bet and you don't have to call you see, this guy is not going to bluff into you. So if he bets into you, he's going to have a flush. Always.
True.
Yeah, so but if you bet into him, he could call his flush instead of him betting into you. And you decide to
Okay.
call. Yeah, so that's not good. So I think a bet.
So he had ace 10.
Yeah, I think a bet is fine. Yeah. Because if you call a jack here, so I'm betting.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Should I look for some more hands?
Okay, let's do a last one.
In fact, I think I'd also made a list of all the things that I usually face problems with. I've already discussed this. River, pets missed flush draw.
Okay.
And when to lead with sets when out of position rather than check raise.
If you don't know what
Because when I check raise, mostly top pair hands end up folding. But if I lead, I think they might still call me once or even twice.
Usually just lead, as in if you don't know what to do, just lead. Yeah, unless you know you have a read that check raising is more profitable. If you don't have that read that check raising is more profitable, you should just be leading. Yeah, let's say this guy bet and calls a lot, then you should check raise because he bets a lot and he calls after you check raise him, right? So that's good for you, right? That's what you want if you have a set. So you should check raise.
Okay.
But most of the time, I think 7 to 8 out of 10 cases, 70 to 80%, they are not going to call you and they may not even continuation bet. So I think for 7 to 8 out of 10 cases, you can just lead with a set. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're unsure, just lead.
Okay. And what should be like the general range for leading? Sets is one. What else should I be leading with? Because I think I have like very, very little down bet percent.
I don't think this should be your focus because in fact I don't have that much hands that I just lead with. When I lead, I don't lead because I have a hand. I lead because I think that the opponent is going to fold. Yeah, it's more opponent dependent than card dependent. If you see that this opponent folds to down bets a lot, you can try leading into him with random hands. It is fine. You can lead a pocket pair, you can lead fourth pair, you can lead 2 over cards. Yeah, because he's gonna fold, right? Yeah, so not so much to do with your hand, but more of his cards. Yeah, so not, and you don't do it that often. This doesn't happen that often.
Okay. Yeah, and what about overbetting? Do you think there should be like a
don't even bother
how should I overbet? When should I overbet?
No, don't bother about this. You shouldn't be overbetting so often. Yeah. No,
Okay.
No. Don't go there.
One spot I think where I could do it is, let's say I have a low pocket pair and I hit a set on the flop and there's a high card, let's say a jack, and I have pocket sixes, and if let's say river completes river has another jack, so I think I might get overbet shoved there because jack X hands with trips might call me there and I might win with a full house.
But why don't you rather bet small and let him check raise and then go all in? Isn't that better?
Yeah. I think it will be the same effect anyway. Because if he If he check raises me and if I shove on top of that, he might fold some weaker trips
No, I
maybe.
don't think.
But
Nobody's
what I've
folding.
noticed is that people don't overbet very often. So when someone randomly overbets, people try to level themselves and think that maybe, he's trying to bluff in that spot, trying to represent a jack when he doesn't have one or something like that.
I don't think so. I don't. I think. Uh, I think it's still better for you to just bet a normal size because trips is never going to fold. Nobody folds trips.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's a very bad bet. If you think if you raise it all in, if you bet and he check raises and you go all in, he's just going to call you with trips. Okay. The other thing is, let's say he has
Okay.
a hand like pocket tens, and you overbet, the pocket tens is most likely going to fold. But if you bet small, I
Hmm.
think the pocket ten is going to call. More often than not. That's the case. So if let's say it's a $5 pot
Okay.
and you bet like $3.50, $4, I think the pocket tens could find a call. But if it's like a $5 pot and you bet like $10 or $9, $8, I think the pocket tens might get scared and fold. Usually, that's the case.
Okay. Okay. I think then, yeah, this is pretty much it for now.
Okay, can.
I think other hands will be similar.
Okay, that's all.
Okay, this one is
Okay,
interesting. Ace
let's do the
eight.
last one.
This is again, yeah, one of those lines where I'm checking the river.
Okay, let's go.
So
Okay, you raise. Can you take over? Hello?
yeah, hi.
Oh, okay, let's
Sorry
go.
about that. Okay, so I open from button,
Okay.
and small blind calls me. Small blind is playing a very small sample, 17 hands, playing 24-6.
I see he's what? Oh, okay, not much
Fold,
stats on him, so okay.
yeah, just 17 and 38% aggression.
Okay.
So I have two pair here, so I
Go bigger, go bigger.
bet.
Definitely too small. 60,
Okay,
60,
16.
65. Because what happened is this board is very drawy. 7, 8 is two middling cards.
Mm-hmm.
And the ace, he could have a lot of ace. He could have an ace 10 here, ace jack here. And he's calling it. So you go big. If
Mm-hmm.
he has a hand like 9, 10, he's calling. 8 something he's calling.
Mm-hmm.
7, I don't know what. 7 king. You could have king 7 suited. Uh, king 8 suited. You could call 9, 10, 9 jack, 10 jack. Yeah, so many hands
Mm-hmm.
calling and
Mm-hmm.
definitely going 60 to 65 cents. That's for sure. Okay, next. And you have a strong hand and there's a flush draw. Okay,
Yeah.
definitely bet again.
So he checks.
Go bigger again.
Uh,
140, 150.
okay.
Okay, and what happens? Did the flush complete?
He calls. Flush also completes, and there's another
Uh,
queen. So here.
okay, yeah, I'm gonna check back here because your 8 is useless. Your best hand is on
Yeah.
the board. Ace, queen, queen, 8, and I don't think it's calling you anything worse. Yeah, so this is definitely a check.
What if this was? What if this was Jack of clubs or some other club?
Jack of clubs, I think I'll still bet because I don't think he's gonna play. I don't think he has so many flush draws in his range, and I think More often, he has a hand like an ace. Yeah, so Jack
Mm-hmm.
of clubs, I'm still betting, but I'll bet small because I'm getting value from his hands.
Okay.
Yeah, so Jack of clubs, I'm betting.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think he has a flush draw that often compared to like a fish. This guy, is he fishy? Oh, he is fishy.
24-6.
Yeah, I'm still betting with such a strong hand because just so many worse hands can call. If he has a hand like, yeah, I think he could call quite a lot of hands. Any ace is calling, and you have a very good ace. And if he tried calling you something stupid like king queen, and he hit the second pair, he's calling you
Mm-hmm.
again. Yeah,
Okay.
so definitely betting there if it's a jack of clubs, but not that big.
Okay.
Probably something like half pot. Yeah,
Okay.
something that can fold to a raise if he actually completed his flush draw.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, bye bye.